Now to that interview. She is a talented young woman from Minneapolis who has come to Rochester to help launch a local nonprofit. She lives close to where George Floyd died almost 2 weeks ago yesterday. Ashley Dubose graduated from the Twin Cities campus of the Jeremiah program, a nonprofit that helps young single moms. And she has helped launch the Rochester campus. She was also a finalist on The Voice and is a rising star in the music world on her own.
Yes, I know how it feels to be on the outside looking in, never fitting in. They don't understand now why you're not like them, but it takes a special kind of you to see life the way you do. Yeah.
Ashley Dubose is a friend to ABC 6 News tonight at 6:30. You've seen her before as we have chatted about the Jeremiah program, talking about overcoming many obstacles and challenges. And our interviews, Ashley, are always so very upbeat. We will try to keep that same tone with this, but the topic is very, very different. You posted on social media recently that this is what the mainstream news isn't showing you, the voice of the youth and the people on the ground at the protests and riots because of everything that has happened with George Floyd. By not speaking to the people, they are controlling the narrative. I thought, you know what? Your voice is going to help with this. Tell me what you mean by that and what you want to be heard.
Thank you. So when I made that statement, what I was talking about is when I tune in, or at the time it was about a week and a half ago, the narrative was just about the riots and the measures that were being taken to control the protesters who are turning violent, and it was creating this picture, that pretty much vilified the protesters, took away the attention of the actual issue, and it placed the attention on the issues of destruction and violence, which are two very, those are important issues. And I'm not saying that those weren't important to highlight, but a lot of times in these situations, there's a reason for why people do what they do. And I didn't feel like, I would watch other news stations, not actual televised broadcasting, televised news stations, but news stations broadcasted on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. And these were people who were actually on the ground interviewing and getting footage of what was going on during the riots. And the truth was, a lot of people that they spoke to, they were like, I'm here, but I'm not throwing any bricks. I'm not setting anything on fire, but I'm here for the cause. And this is why, we're all out here. This is why people are doing this. And basically giving the people a voice instead of leaving the public to speculate or create these, villains of people who just were out to be destructive and just out to take advantage of the system and loot and steal and everything. And another thing that I don't think was taken into consideration is that a lot of people have been without a means of income due to the COVID situation. So while people are stealing, some people might have been going in and stealing essential items that they needed for their family. Not to say that it's okay to steal, but just getting different sides, because there's always multiple sides of a story. And I feel like by kind of keeping a distance and just showing images of the police trying to, regain control, and images of the National Guard coming in and then fires and everything, it just really told the story of all this chaos is breaking out and these people are just going crazy and destroying their own neighborhood and their own town, and why are they doing this? And then, truth be told, later on videos came out where there were people, in disguise, initiating the damages that, breaking windows and starting fires and everything.
Ashley,
and then,
you live really close to one of the police precincts, and life changed very drastically for you.
Yep, I live very close to one of the precincts, and I had to leave my building because there were threats on the building that a neo-Nazi or white supremacist group was going to attack our building based on interactions they had in the past. An altercation of some sort. They were put out of the premises because of, their beliefs and things. And
well, how afraid were you? Really?
I packed up all my stuff and took all my pictures and stuff, because I was like, if my building burns down, what do I need to have with me? Because I was like, well, if if it's a threat and I see all these other buildings and businesses and things being set on fire, like, I didn't take it lightly at all. So me and my daughter, we had a whole car full of groceries that we had just purchased, and we left the groceries in the car, went up and got a couple suitcases and packed everything and took all the groceries in a couple suitcases to my mom's house, and we stayed here for 2 weeks.
Okay, Ashley, I'm going to take a quick break, and I want to come back because this has sparked a movement, and we've seen things like this happen in the past when similar situations have taken place. But I want to get your thoughts on how to, and you said this before the interview, not get complacent and to make this about real change. So stick with me just 2 minutes. We'll be back and talk about that. Ashley Dubose is a singer, songwriter. She is a graduate of the Jeremiah program. I've interviewed her a couple of times as we have talked about overcoming challenges in the Jeremiah program on the local level. Ashley, as we are talking about the death of George Floyd, we are talking about how this has galvanized a movement, and I wanted to talk to you about the next generation in all of this, because so many people are saying this has to be about sparking change. It cannot be just about one man's death, as tragic as it was, the circumstances, and we'll watch how everything unfolds. But you want more than this. Talk about that.
Definitely. I'm hoping that this isn't just another well, this is actually much larger, like a much larger worldwide reaction to any of the deaths we've seen in the past, where with the police officer involved killing of a black person, and so I'm already feeling like this is not just another moment.
What makes this one different, Ashley? Do you suppose?
I think it's just how a lot of people watched George Floyd die. Like, if you watch the video, you've never, like, a lot of the videos that come, we've seen Philando Castile, with his blood all over his shirt, leaning and dying in his car with his baby in the back seat, and that was heart-wrenching. And you would think something like that would spark a movement like this, and it did spark a lot of reaction, and people cared a lot. But even that officer got off with a slap on the wrist. But, like, he had a story that he was able to, there's a lot of question marks, right? But this was so clear as day, in your face. You saw what happened. You heard him begging for his life. You saw, and like, as I was watching the video, it brought me to tears. I was like, just watching it, knowing that it already happened, but still pleading inside, internally, just get off of them. Just get off of them. Like I'm watching something in real time, thinking that my thoughts and my will could help the situation. And the sad thing was everybody watching, which is like the whole world now, because everything traveled so fast. And so everybody watching that video probably had the same reaction of, why don't you just get off of him? And it was clear as day. There was plenty of opportunity for the police officer to lift his knee off this man's neck, and things could have been completely different. And I think the outrage is that everybody's asking why.
Okay.
And the only answer is that he didn't value this man's life.
Okay, let me ask you about moving forward as an influencer that you are, a role model for many young women. You have gotten to a place with fame. With everything that happened on The Voice, the videos that you put out, the music you put out, you have the ability to influence people, especially young people. And that's what this is about. This is what I wanted to ask you specifically about. How do you do that and not get on with life as usual?
So, just kind of segueing from the last question, and I think this is a good segue into it. The reason it sparked so much reaction worldwide is because every one of us is a human being, and I know we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and some people go, well, no, all lives matter. But yes, every life force, that was blessed enough to be here, we all matter, and we all need each other in some way or another. And we're all affected by everything that's going on in the world in some way or another. We literally all breathe the same air. We inhale and we exhale, and we're all inhaling and exhaling the same. We're connected. We are one. And that's why when we see a fellow human being die the way George Floyd did, it incites so much just, anger, sadness, fear, and inspiration to make a change in the world. So one of the things the gift that I've been given is to be able to sing and to be able to write songs. My music is a tool. My music is my power. My music is my expression and my communication to the world. So I have a song that's coming out. It's called We Are One, and it's a beautiful song. And it was actually written, I didn't write it. I recorded it months ago, and then this all happened, and we felt like this is the perfect time to hurry up and put this out because people need to hear this message. And we are all one.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. I hate to have to wrap this up, Ashley.
Okay,
but
I'm long-winded.
then that's okay, because what you have to say is beautiful. You are eloquent with the way that you put it, and you have a beautiful heart. I love that. Ashley, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about all of this.